If you watched the last toolbox install video, the chest that I did have in there, there's one thing that I have a problem with. Something oily had leaked and gotten over everything else, so I need some separation of things. I want some separation of muddy tools. That'll be one of these boxes. I want some separation of any sort of POLs, petroleum oil lubricants. That's Army speak. But to make sure things like that stay separate from all the tools that I'd like to keep somewhat clean. But that's what this is coming into. I had a friend way back when I was in construction management at Colorado State, that he had his old bullnose short bed Ford done up with these sorts of boxes, and I always liked the look and the function. So I'm finally getting to the day where I do that with this truck. They're nice enough toolboxes, but I swear every time I get them shipped, I've got a dent somewhere. But ball peen hammer, hammer it out, make it as straight as I can, and then we'll be all right. But every single time. So this one came with all kinds of stuff. I actually had the hardware in it. Bolts with flange nuts and flange heads. Some J-hooks if you want to use those. I'll probably just bolt straight through. If the other one's any indication, those may not be long enough and I may be doing my own. A couple of brace brackets that would do this kind of a number. But what I'm finding is it sits on the wheel well. And it may sit on the wheel well a little bit too tall, which that brings a whole different problem, where I may need to get something to space all of them, all three of the boxes. I don't know, we'll see what I can do. I'm gonna want a gap there, but if you remember from when I installed this box, the dimensions up front of the bed are about an inch wider than the dimensions in the back, so there is going to be a little bit of a triangulation going on there. So it's going to look funny, but I don't know. Otherwise, I end up with that reveal hanging over the bed, so I got to choose my poison on that one. And if you look, it's not much. Not even a quarter of an inch, 3/16 of an inch of space that I've got. I might be able to just pull that in. But the nice thing is that means the entire toolbox rests on the wheel well, so I don't need any bracing underneath it. I don't need those L brackets. That's bent too. I'll have to pound that out. Every single one of these boxes had something that was bent. This leaves me wondering. No, okay, that's why. And they have a indentation here that gives it rigidity across it. Again, they're not the highest quality ones, but they're good enough. They'll do what I need them to do. Just trying to figure out, what do I want to do? Do I want to overhang on the back? Or do I want to follow with the rails and then just deal with the fact that I got a triangulation type wedge here? We'll see. So evidently they only cut one size. You just get a whole bunch of them that size, and so if you get a long box, they give you 2 of those. And these foam gaskets, if you remember, there's some in here. If you have a painted rail, you got a factory rail, you're gonna want that probably, so you don't mess up your paint. I've got this Duraback bed liner, years old, sitting on here, so I should be okay. I'm gonna use it anyway. All right, there it is, it's installed. One bolt this end with a fender washer. One bolt that end with a fender washer. I would love to put 4 on it, but there's just simply not enough room with the wheel well being right here. Shovels and axes and stuff will fit in there nice. Need to get a bow saw for this truck. I wish my electric chainsaw would fit in there, but it's too big, so maybe I'll find myself a smaller electric chainsaw. Yeah, we're gonna keep all the digging tools of that nature in here. Again, I probably won't ever fill these up until I really need to. Latch was already nicely adjusted on it, but there we go. Yeah, I can just pull that off. I don't need their sticker. All right, there they are, mostly installed. I'll say mostly because I do want to do a little bit more. They do rest on the wheel wells. Had to beat that one. I don't know if you can see that from here. Nah, probably not. That's just shadows. But I had to beat that one down a little bit to make it sit. So the toolboxes themselves are resting on the wheel wells, which is good for support. My only concern, I'm gonna have to make up some L brackets, is that it moves around too much. So I'll put a bracket here and here on both sides. This one, that moves some, but I'll put those brackets in, it'll be tied into the structure of the bed. Gives me a lot more free space in here for carrying stuff. Again, this tire, it'll go away eventually. Stay tuned for that. Who knows when I'll actually get to that. But it gives me a lot more tool space. All right. Appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.